Can you beat Poppy Playtime Chapter 2 if all the lights are out? Playtime Co is already a terrifying place, but you know what would make it worse? Turning all the lights off. And today, we are attempting that madness. Is it possible to beat Poppy Playtime Chapter 2 if complete darkness overtook the entire building? No longer could you see the level around you, but you'd have to fumble around in the dark as you try to survive. And of course, there's tons of foes just waiting to attack your blind spot. This is the No Light Challenge in Poppy Playtime Chapter 2. So, I hope you enjoy. So, let's first off explain what our dark setting is. In Poppy Playtime, your character by default has a flashlight to help them see in dark places, and the level itself has a slight glow from different light sources. All these things have been severely limited. The only benefit I really have in this challenge is I have a light attached to my face which illuminates my hands. I'm going to be honest, this would be a very odd video to watch otherwise, since the whole video would be almost solid black. The light really only affects my grab pack, although I'll admit it isn't fully fleshed out. It flickers and goes out sometimes like a true horror movie, and that's an issue I wasn't able to resolve. But where we're going, we won't need eyes to see. So let's fire up Chapter 2 and head on out. However, you're going to need eyes to see, so the footage for this video will be brightened in certain shots. Booting up the chapter, I can already tell I'm going to hate this. The hallway of Poppy's case is so dark, and there's this red ominous glow that's giving me the heebie-jeebies. I fumble my way through the dark, and I eventually find Ludwig's office. Only the very bottom of his sign is visible, and I know I have to go to the right. Luckily, there's a tiny glow emitting from the handle on the ceiling, and I can swing across. I literally feel like I'm walking around in the dark in real life, because if this was me, I'd have my hand stretched out in front of me trying to feel where I was going. I eventually make my way to the key and grab it, but this terrifying quest is only getting started. Inside Ludwig's office is pitch black minus the light given off by the collectible statue, so I sneak on by and open the vent. Despite our first exercise being a power-fixing puzzle, the solution to this will not yield any power to the lights in the facility. I can just make out the tips of the power pillars and I clear the room. Onward into the vents I go. Where I end up, only the shadows will know. Didn't Poppy Playtime say they were making a movie? I pray it's not a horror flick like this where someone is trapped in the pitch dark. And now it's time for a scary jump. The deadly gap in the floor. And of course, I can't see crap, so I die. Second time's the charm though, and I make it across. But of course, a creature emerges from the dark and gobbles up Poppy, so I drop into the abyss like I'm starting a game of Fortnite and come to rest at the bottom of the slide. The electrical puzzle down here is simple since I've done it several times already, so the low light conditions don't really cause me too much trouble. In true horror game fashion, I'm wandering around in the dark and a creature comes out of the ceiling and cuts off my right hand. So, that's a thing. Mommy Longlegs is extra creepy with this sinister lighting though. Man. Rolling into the game station, I feel like I'm an urban explorer walking through an abandoned mall at night. It's so dark I can't see anything out in the room. I pull the switch and then make my way to musical memory. Of course, I fumble through the dark to get a new green hand first. Musical memory feels like a true movie theater. Everything is pitch black but the movie screen and my sweet reclining chair. All the button screens emit light though, and I wasn't able to remove that. I guess it would make this challenge really dumb if every color-coded panel had no light, since they'd all just be gray. So I clear musical memory pretty quickly before the crazy bunny can smash my head. Into the vents we go, and into... okay, I honestly can't see anything. The toy reject warehouse is so dark, like stupid dark. You can't tell what I'm doing, but I'm basically grabbing the ball up here so I can jump up and skip this entire puzzle. I got places to be, and this room ain't one of them. Another electrical puzzle down, it is now time to do Whack-A-Wuggy. And oh my gosh, I can't see anything. There's no way to do Whack-A-Wuggy. No matter where I stand, the room is too dark to see. It's just a waiting game until I die. So, I suppose it might be possible through sheer luck to clear this challenge, but as it stands, I'm considering this unbeatable for me. However, I do want to check out the rest of the game in darkness, so I'm going to auto-clear this room. I gotta make it to that chase scene at least. It's time to rescue our favorite minecart from the Darklands. This section is the same, minus Kissy Missy look like an SCP monster walking out of the dark. We clear this area by banishing Barry to the Shadow Realm and move on. Back in the train station, we throw the third lever and get ready to meet up with a very terrifying dog. The puzzle and hallways leading up to PJ Pugapillar aren't too bad, but I'm dreading the red light green light showdown with that mutt. As I expected, I can only see the TV screen. Oh man, this is gonna suck. I know PJ is right there in the dark, but I can't see him. And so the games begin. When the lights are off, it's dark, and when they are off, it's like light as a concept doesn't exist. All I can hear is the pitter-patter of little dog feet closing in as I fumble my way through the pitch-black room. And then, I die. When you get into the slides, you can't tell what way is forward or back, and it's really confusing. I eventually make my way over to the window and get out of this terrifying playroom. But the tunnel, for some reason, didn't bother loading. I jumped in thinking I was going to hit the bottom, but I just fell through the map and died. Making it there again, I check to make sure it's loaded in before continuing. I feel like I'm wandering through the tunnels of Zardy's Maze 2 when I'm down here. It's so dark, claustrophobic, and spooky. I love it. We finally have arrived at the water treatment plant. Time to get a Bunzo toy on the elevator to the underworld. This part is about the same, as is the next puzzle room since I'm familiar with the darkness by this point. But man, I was not ready for Nightmare Mommy. Just when I thought she couldn't get any more scary, she's here standing in the dark, so I can only see the faint reflections off her eyes. I know she's there staring me down, and that's what's so terrifying. And I'm going to be honest, I get completely lost in the next series of rooms. It was so hard to tell where I needed to go without being able to see. I walked in circles for a good 10 minutes until I eventually found the 4-lever door. It was not fun, but now the moment of truth has arrived. It's time for the Mommy Longlegs chase in complete darkness. So, like I was saying earlier, seeing Mommy appear in this hallway is freaky, because you only see the light bouncing off the edges of her eyes. Just look how horrifying this is in the dark. Nightmare fuel. Trying to make my way back is a bit of a chore, and although I die, the second time I'm able to dodge her. I can't even see what's beneath me at all though. I'm just hoping she's gone. We then proceed to the oven room, and we have to repair the machine in the dark. The fire provides a ton of light though, which does give our eyes a break. I then pop the gear in and head down the next dark hallway. At this point, Mommy Longlegs pops out, and I know I need to hide in the oven. I shut the doors behind me and wait until I can no longer hear her. And now, it's time for the worst part. This lever triggers the super long chase section, and oh my gosh, it's awful. Making our way to the sewer isn't bad at all, but you can't see anything in the sewer. I die over and over and over again. You really can't rely on anything around you. But you also can't mess up, because if you do, you'll die on the ceiling grapple you use to exit the sewers. This part is super brutal. I basically would hold directional inputs on the keyboard so that my character would take a left or right when needed as soon as they could. Not because I could see it, but because I knew it was eventually going to happen. Through trial and error, I eventually got it. I grapple my way up, but the next grapple jump is giving me a ton of trouble. The timing in the dark keeps causing me to die, and I'm nervous because the sewer part is super hard. I finally make it through, and I rush through the dark hoping that nothing goes wrong, and then I can rest. The threat is over for a moment, and I open the next door. I'm not gonna lie, this hallway is super creepy when the lighting is limited. I know this part like the back of my hand though, so I begin the final section with a blue hand door. I rush into the room and defeat Mommy Longlegs in the dark. I feel a huge pressure relieved, because I know everything else past this is simpler. I make my way through the dark staircases leading back to the game station, free Poppy up above, and make my way into the train. And with this handle pull, the nightmare is over. The train is moving, and the chapter is complete. Whack-a-Wuggy would require some extreme luck, but it may be doable. I'm just happy Mommy Longlegs can no longer hurt me in this nightmare. I need a nap after this one. It was a really hard challenge. Time to put on some ASMR so I can fall asleep and... oh gosh. No. Wait, no. Why is Mommy Longlegs doing ASMR? I cannot escape her! Hey! I hope you enjoyed this video. And joking aside, the Mommy Longlegs ASMR thing is actually pretty cool, so you should check it out. It's on screen now. Cheers, everyone!